Greetings and salutations, this is Jason Silverain, and today I'll be looking at painting Werther. Now, this is a paintable visual novel where all the visuals are living paintings, all the musics are classics with a bit of a twist, and the novel was actually written in 1774. It's been developed and published by Mad Cream Games, who have an absolutely awesome little logo, I like to say that, and considering only 12 people seem to have actually looked at this, I thought it needs a little bit of love. This is the beta version for testing. I got this key for free just to put that out there. And considering I just finished a diploma course in one day, I'm going to need this to help my brain unwind. So I've been looking forward to this. It is single player and it's got a ton of achievements. And if you do want to buy this, it is £10.99, which is probably a bit expensive for a visual novel. But shall we move on? Alright, and it's now gone full screen, even though I told it to play in windowed. That's a little unusual. Okay, I hope this is fine for you guys. The seal is broken, I have earned an achievement, and I'm going to quickly hit Windows to see if this is actually recording. Yes, it's still going fine. Lovely. Am I filling this in? There seems to be a little bit of lag between my clicking and things occurring. Oh, do I have to actually drag? Yes, I do. There we go. This isn't going to help because I'm currently suffering from RSI. So having to frequently click is going to be a bit murderous. Certainly different from what I was expecting already. Over here? No, it is just here. Oh, come on. How many more do I have to do? Dear Wilhelm, how glad I am that I am gone. Oh. That's a waste of a good sketch. That's a bit better. Surely if you put the paint on that thick though, you won't be able to see the lines to reference them. There we go, we'll touch that up a little bit. Look at my masterpiece. Now he just needs a little friend, because everyone needs a little friend. Yes, I'm a fan of classic art rather than modern. I love how they did their best to try and portray the human face and, well, landscapes, to be honest, before we had cameras. Okay. Oh, you, Wilhelm. Best of friends. To leave you whom I love, from whom I was inseparable, and to be happy. But I couldn't stay after what happened with poor Lenore. It was not my fault that whilst I was flirting with her sister, the passion of love ignited in her unfortunate chest. And yet I am completely innocent? Have I not nurtured her passions myself? Oh. I guess this is fade to black. Yes, my friend, I will improve, I promise. I will enjoy the present time and the past will really be the past for me. Tell my mother that everything will be fine and that she will hear from me as soon as possible. This is not very good foreshadowing. I've got a feeling bad things are going to happen to him. I am very well here. The solitude of this heavenly place is balm for my soul. I am so happy, my friend, in my quiet existence. I am alone and life seems delicious. Oh, this is going a bit fast. I'm not too keen on the somewhat janky movement. It is setting off my motion sickness ever so slightly. And I did start this with a bit burnt out and a headache, so that wasn't really a good idea, was it? Ooh, very nice. It's gone from realistic to abstract, isn't it? Night falls, the sun sets. It feels a bit like a pop-up book. Oh my god, I'm just wondering, would the younger viewers even understand what it's like to have a pop-up book these days? I can't remember the last time I saw one. I've seen pop-up cards, but not books anymore. I have never been a greater artist than now, but I cannot draw, nor can I paint a single stroke. Why can't I impress on paper what inflames my desires so much? Just then, this vast universe begins to etch itself in my soul. Please, my friend, let me breathe. How many times have I needed Homer's writings to extinguish the burning of my blood? Shall I tell you how to endure how I go? From the greatest of sadness to the most enraptured happiness? From the sweetest melancholy to the most dismissal of passions? Go to sleep already, old man. Alright, so that was chapter 1. It must have some appeal to men. Seeing the eagerness with which they seek my friendship, they are, so to speak, dangling from my lips. Wherever I go, I feel observed. Whee! Away with thee. I hope they were supposed to go up there. Others have said before me that life is just a dream. This idea follows me everywhere. I go into myself and there is a world similar to the exterior world, but invaded by a yearning I cannot explain. I mean, I'm loving the art styles. It's very curious and interesting. It's so different. So they've really brought the effect of oil paints to life, but animated. Okay, I confess, Wilhelm, with no disgust, that those who only live in the present time are happier. They always have the sweet idea of eternal happiness. And they know they can leave their prison wherever they want. Also, whenever they want. About 3 miles from the city, there is a place near a hill in the shadow of 2 linden trees. There I paint, and a nice and interesting composition. Go. What have I missed? Nature without rules knows how to train the greatest artist. What rules do what do rules do if not stifle, turn off the imagination? And my dear friend, doesn't the same happen with love? I have made an acquaintance that have won my heart. I have met the kindest creature in the universe. I am happy! No words can portray how perfect the lady of my thoughts is. want to tell you now. If I quit, I never will. 3 times I have been on the verge of putting down my pen since I started writing this letter to leave and meet her. But I swore not to go out. I keep looking out the window to see how high the sun is. Interesting. Dear Wilhelm, I was not able to defeat my urges. I've gone out to visit her. What a joy for my soul to be able to see her. Be patient. I will try to wind down so I can tell you what has happened for the last few days. Alright, that's the end of chapter 2. Some young people had arranged a ball in the country home, which I agreed to attend. I chose a lady from the city for my companion. Beautiful and good-tempered, but indifferent. Her aunt also accompanied us in the carriage. We agreed to pick up Charlotte along the way. Why, I asked them. Why can't I fall in love with her? Because Charlotte is already engaged to a young man of much merit. The poor thing lost his father and has gone on a trip to find a decent job. I got out of the carriage to look for the young lady. Upon reaching the backyard, the most beautiful spectacle that I have ever enjoyed was brought into view. Oh wait. Oh, it's like just the world around her just vanishes. I like that. It's like saying, oh, my eyes would only focus on her. A beautiful young woman of medium height in a white robe with pink bows. This is going to end badly, we just know it. Sorry that I made you wait. I got so distracted getting dressed that I'd forgotten to make dinner for the boys. My soul was absorbed in contemplating her face, her voice, her manners. Charlotte spoke with great talent and new grace in every word. Her beautiful black eyes appeared to shoot beams of intelligence. Her pink lips and fresh cheeks possessed a charm that burned right into my soul. I couldn't hear the words from which she was explaining herself. I was entirely lost contemplating her noble, majestic expression. Yes, your eyes are up here, not down there. And to the ball we go then. So, the car then stopped in front of the dance house. I got out of the carriage, not knowing what I was doing. I was so wrapped up in that fantastic world. Now, I do think it's very slow-paced. It's kind of forced by all this movement, and there's a lot of excess clicking. I mean, it's fantastic, but I'm going to have to do this in multiple parts, or I might just go for one long one. I feel like if I split this up, it'll be a bit ruined. I barely could hear the music coming out of the lit room. Oh. What we got? And whose harmony stretched far away. We danced many minutes. I had to put up with several couples, the most clumsy. Charlotte, her companions, started an English quadrille. Imagine my joy when she had to do the figure with me. At first we played around doing different steps and figures. The rest of the world fading around us. When we get to the waltz, we started to turn around one around the other, as if we were heavenly spheres. I never had danced more lightly and easily. I was never more than a man. Sorry, I was more than a man. Apologies. I was maddened with joy. To fly with her. To hold her in my arms, that kind creature. Losing sight of everything around me, and Wilhelm, you surely understand me. It is wonderful to see her dance. That is very interesting. It's not the same person. It's just... But there's lots of ladies from various artworks all kind of joining together. Are we going... Oh, fair enough. That just repeats. What grace. How skillful. She indulged in this pleasure with all of her heart, with all of her soul. Her limbs, her body are in perfect harmony when she dances. Ah, I don't have to click now, it just does it. Oh, I'll be honest, the shifts and changes are a little uncanny valley for me. Okay, I'm liking the effect. Although it is slowly wearing out its welcome there, but she lets herself go into such a way that she thinks nothing. The other objects fade before her eyes. Only dancing remains. And it was then when we stopped in front of a woman who looked at Charlotte laughing. She gave her a threatening signal and spoke her name in a mysterious tone. Albert. Oh. Albert? May I, without being reckless, ask who Albert is? She was about to answer me when we had to separate to form the chain. When we crossed again, she seemed thoughtful. There is no reason to hide it, she told me. Albert is the handsome young man to whom I am engaged. I was on notice. I should have been prepared. But this news had the same effect on me as if they were new. I was troubled. I lost myself. I missed the figure and upset the dance. I didn't feel like myself. The world seemed to vanish around me. I wonder if he has a habit of doing this, considering why he came here in the first place. But yes, in the state when the dance had not even finished. Sudden thunder caused panic and confusion. It was Charlotte, the beautiful Charlotte, who rearranged the attendees. She made them sit down and suggested a game. The storm passed by the time I could be alone with her. I believe it or not, was one of my most fearful, but I was one of the most fearful, but I became more daring. From pretending to be brave to instilling it in others. I could not answer her, Wilhelm. I was so shocked. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Abundant rain was pouring down on the streams over the fields. The earth exhaled a life-giving perfume, and the air, rarefied by the heat, sent it towards in gusto. I wonder when I'm going to actually get to do more painting with this. On the way back, the ladies began to fall asleep. Worried about my well-being, she told me, "If you want to sleep too, do not stop doing it because of me." I replied immediately, "As long as I see those open eyes, there is no fear that I will not there is no fear that I will close mine." We both resisted our sleep until we reached her door. I said goodbye to her and assured her that I would see her again that same day. I have done so. From this instant, the sun, the moon, and the stars can travel through their orbits without me knowing whether or not it is day or night. The whole world has vanished before my eyes. Right, chapter 4 is done now. Alright. What a child is man. Why do we sigh so ardently for a single look? Selstadt, Adrian and I were on our way to Wareham. The ladies stepped into their carriage and we met in the middle of the road. If you had seen those eyes... Oh, there we go, I get to do some painting again. Alright, let's colour this in. Oof. This is much longer than I thought it would be. Okay. We talked through the door. I watched Charlotte's eyes, which wandered from one to the other. But me, I was so absorbed in contemplating her. Her eyes did not light on me. The carriage drove off. I looked after her with my eyes. I spotted her hairstyle. She turned to look back. Was it at me? My friend, in this uncertainty, I find comfort. Perhaps she turned to look at me. Perhaps, if those eyes looked at me, I would like you to see how foolish I look when she is mentioned. Particularly when I am asked if I like her. What creature merely likes Charlotte? Whose whole heart and senses are not entirely absorbed by her. Do I like her? What a question. No, of course I'm not deceiving myself. Wilhelm, stop talking nonsense. In her dark eyes I read her interest in me. My own heart tells me. Dare I say these divine words? Wilhelm, I know. I feel like Wilhelm's going, dude, just stop. It's like, I know she loves me, I know she loves me. Oh dear, he's having a breakdown, isn't he? However, nice selection of fonts. I was half expecting a wingding snuck in there somewhere. She loves me? Is it presumptuous or is it real? There is no man who cannot steal Charlotte's heart from me. And yet, when she speaks of her betrothed with so much warmth and affection. Oh, what delicious feeling runs through my veins. When by accident my finger touches hers. When our feet meet under the table. Ah, her innocent heart. The freedom of her soul, never knows the torments that those familiarities inflicted upon me. She lays her hand upon mine, when the heavenly breath reaches my lips. Wilhelm, if aspiring to that heavenly bliss with all this heavy confidence I ever dare, no, my heart is too weak. Is my style going to change to something else, or is it going to be permanently like this? I shall see her today, I exclaimed this morning with delight. When I rise, I look towards the sun with all the serenity of a happy soul. I'll see her, and I'll have no further wishes for the rest of the day. Whee! Up we go. Since you insist so much, I do not neglect drawing. Oh, sorry, that I do not neglect drawing. I should confess that for a while now I have done very little. I have never been happier. I have never felt more intimate, more strongly memorized with the spectacle of nature. And yet my imagination is so weakened. 3 times I've commenced the portrait of Charlotte. 3 times I've disgraced myself and finally decided to sketch her profile. Okay, come along please. I mean, does she just see him as an intelligent friend? I suspect that's the case. Come on. Alright. It's got to be left to right. There we go. I am painting her... just painting her would suffice. I do not need anything else. Many times I've decided not to see her so frequently. But who can keep such a resolution? Was that resolution or resolve? Sorry. Every day I'm expected every day I'm exposed to the temptation. This, I'll admit, the font's a little hard to read. I'm not very good with, like, cursive. I promise that I will stay away tomorrow. when tomorrow comes, before I can account for it, I'm with her again. Grandmother always told the story of a mountain of lodestone. Vessels that came too close lost all their ironwork instantly. Nails went flying to the mountains. And the unfortunate sailors were submerged beneath the planks. Albert the groom has arrived. He is a good and honest young man whom no one can hate. He has great sensibility and not affected by bad temper. You already know is the vice that I hate the most in myself. His calm aspect contrasts with my turbulent character. He shows a regard for me, which I think comes from Charlotte. He is so restrained that he has never once hugged her in my presence. How much I must thank him. Oh, this one's interesting. What's this supposed to be? Oh, I recognise this picture. I was not expecting it like this, though. Okay, no, I've got to finish this before I can continue. So, if I was in his place, I would not be free of jealousy. But my pleasure with Charlotte is over. Foolishness or infatuation. Before Albert came, I knew all that I know now. But how was I avoiding to making... what's that? How was I to avoid making pretensions over her? I can only stare at open mouth like I can only stare like an open mouthed fool. And when another comes in and berates me of my lady, I bite my teeth with scorn when I think of my unhappiness. And don't tell me to resign because there is no help for it. Oh, that's worrying that the red is comforting the world. To hell with all reasoners. Now when I ramble through the woods, if I return to Charlotte and find Albert sitting by her, I am able to bear it, behave like a fool. I greet them with 1,000 gestures and extravagances. I have to be honest, Wilhelm. I confess that I wait for him to go away, to finally go meet her. I feel delight whenever I find her alone. Wilhelm, my friend, I can imagine your inquisitive look as you tell me. Either you have hopes of obtaining Charlotte, or you have none. If not, shake off that miserable passion which has only enervated and consumed you. Wilhelm, would you demand a wretched being that he end his own torment with the stroke of a dagger? If only I knew where to go, I would. I would never imagine such a funny thing as our connection. And yet, the thought of it often moves me to tears. Another chapter finished. I walk by Albert's side. Okay. Plucking flowers on the way. Arranging them carefully. Forming bouquets, and then I fling them into the stream that runs by our side. forget whether I told that Albert is to remain here, and that he will have a nice job at court, where he is also very loved and favoured. I fancied a trip on horseback through the mountains from where I now write to you. I had stopped by Charlotte's house to say goodbye. There, as I was walking up and down in our home, I saw the guns in Albert's room. Lend me those pistols for my journey. By all means, if you're to take the trouble of loading them. They only hang there for decoration ever since I suffered my lack of prudence. I ceased to listen to him while he told me that what had happened. I pointed the pistol at my forehead. What are you going to do? She's not loaded. Even if not, what does this mean? I cannot comprehend how a man can be so mad as to shoot himself. Why should one try to pronounce any action as mad or wise? Or good or bad? What do such words mean? You will allow that certain actions are always bad, whatever the motives are. Still, there are some expectations, my good friend. Who would blame a husband who, in the heat of resentment, sacrifices his unfaithful wife and her infamous seducer? That is another thing. A man under the influence of his violent passions loses all power of reflection. People regard him as intoxicated or insane. I have been more than once intoxicated. That is why I can say that all extraordinary men have been belittled as drunk or insane. This is one more of your extravagant humours. You always exaggerate everything. And in this case, you are wrong to compare great actions with suicide. When is it impossible to regard suicide as anything but the weakness of man? It's so much easier to die than to bear a life of misery with fortitude. I composed myself as not to break off the conversation, for he was uttering such vulgar ideas. It's not about deciding if a man is strong or weak. Human nature has its limits. It is able to bear a certain degree of joy, pain, and sadness. If one exceeds this measure, he becomes annihilated. Since Albert arrived, what used to be pleasures is now the cause of my misery. In rain I stretch out my arms towards her. When at dawn I awake from my weary dreams. Oh no, he's not stretching. Fair enough. In rain I do seek for her, at night in my bed. When deceived by some innocent dream, I believe I'm by her side in the fields. I dream of having her in my arms, and giving her countless kisses. Half dazed, I feel around me, looking for that hand. But when I wake up, the pressure in my heart makes tears flow from my oppressive heart. I do groan in despair, thinking of my future woes that offer me nothing but darkness. There we go. I think I might have to do the whole area. Maybe a percentage? There we go. The narrative in form of letters is quite interesting. Oh, there we go. If my ills had any cure, the people around me would be best to cure them. Today is my birthday. Early in the morning I received a small package from Albert. The first thing I saw upon opening it was a pink ribbon. The one that Charlotte wore in her dress when I first saw her, and which I had asked for on many occasions. With it were 2 volumes of Homer, a book I'd wanted for a long time. I kissed the ribbon 1,000 times, and in every breath I exhaled the remembrance of that flooded me into those happy days, as brief as they were lucky, and that they can no longer return. Honestly, Albert's had the patience of the saint, or just thinks of this guy as a somewhat crazy, extravagant artist who his whose wife's befriended. Okay. Wilhelm, you keep saying that I am a wretch, that I am crazy, that I am deceiving myself. You ask me where this finally endless passion will lead me, and I do not know. For now, I cannot pray except to her. In my imagination, I can only see her. I see nothing of this world, except what is related to her. And that is the only way I get a few hours of happiness. Oh, Wilhelm. If only my dreams would come true. Just sitting for 2 or 3 hours next to her, completely absorbed in her graces. My senses go out. I hardly hear, my sight is dimmed. My heart beats in a strange way, Wilhelm. Sometimes I doubt if I really exist. Is there anything else here? Oh, no, it's just this. There we go. Let's get this all filled in. There we go. I want to go. Thank you, Wilhelm, for helping me dispel my uncertainty. I need to get away from her. And from Albert. I must go away. Now, does he mean leave, or does he think off himself? Because it's getting kind of uncertain. Ah, what a night, Wilhelm. Yesterday we had a long conversation under the moonlight. I was especially careful not to reveal that I am leaving. Little does she know she has seen me for the last time. I will flee from her presence. I am sitting, trying to calm down until dawn. I have ordered the horses to be ready as soon as sun rises. Yesterday we met in the forest. I was waiting for them under the tall chestnut trees, looking at the sun sink beneath this delightful valley for the last time. I was entertained by the sweet and cruel thoughts of parting. I ran to meet them and struggled with my thoughts. I trembled and took her hand and kissed it. Charlotte watched the moon rise from behind the wooded hill. It was a superb spectacle. I never walked in the moonlight without remembering my parted friends. What will become of us? Shall we know one another in the afterlife? Shall we meet again, Werther? Yes, we will. In this life or the next, we will meet again. I couldn't say more, Wilhelm. Such a question, just what I needed. Oh, Wilhelm, I thought I was annihilated at that moment. However, the image of my mother hovers around me. I wish she could witness how I fulfilled the promise I made to her in her last moments. My promise to be a mother to her children. Charlotte. Threw myself at her feet and seized her hands, bathing them with my tears. Charlotte, your mother's blessings are upon you. Werther, if only you've met her. Death snatched that woman in her prime. In her last moment she made Charlotte gather her children around her. Her mother saw... their mother saw them standing around her bedside, one after another, as she said her goodbyes. Albert, you then entered the room, how tenderly she looked at us. Knowing that we'd be happy in our union, comfort her. We are so, we shall be, Albert yelled. Werther, that woman no longer exists. I was moved with her hand in mine. Let's go home, it's time. She attempted to withdraw her hand from mine, but I held it still. We shall see each other again. I'll leave you now, but if I believe it was forever, I could not bear such an idea. Goodbye, Charlotte. Goodbye, Albert. We shall meet again. I guess tomorrow, Charlotte told me. Those words pierced my heart. She didn't know when she drew her hand away from mine. I went down the avenue, stood and gazed after with my eyes in the moonlight. I threw myself upon the ground and wept. Hey, I'll say one thing for him, he didn't try to kill Albert. Okay, then I sprang up again and ran upon the terrace. I looked down, I could still see her by the garden gate. Dear Wilhelm, we arrived yesterday. The ambassador is somewhat unwell and we will stay here for a few days. This is the intermission, this is like halfway through. So, as much as I don't want to kind of stop, I'm going to stop here because this has been going on for much longer than expected. But thank you for joining me so far. I'm actually rather enjoying this. It's a bit rough on the wrist with all the clicking, but hey, it's certainly interesting.